Architectural Builders Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
Okay, so we want to talk about hanging fire doors in a wood frame, is it?
Yeah, this isn't a fire issue. We're in a college town, and the guy's tired of the students breaking the doors, so that's why he bought your doors, because they're heavy duty. But our concern is the jams in there now are just yellow pine. You know, they're not gonna take the weight of hanging them doors on. They're gonna sag, and you know.
Well, it'd be the hinge that's going to do the work.
Yeah, but it's all going to be hanging off the jam, and like I said, the jam's just yellow pine. It's not real substantial. Like they move.
Well, okay, if you've got finger jointed, pine, half-inch thick, Home Depot baloney, then I think you got a problem. Even with the proper hinges and the proper installation, it probably won't be so awful. So what question do we want to focus on answering?
Well, like, should we go with something? I mean, we got to take those jams out anyways, because, like I said, they move right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just taking the old doors out. I mean, one of them split. My buddy and me, we're kind of concerned. Should we use some inch oak for the jam legs to give us something a little more substantial to hang them off of, or is that going a little too far? Because those doors, it's all we can do too is to pick one of them up, because they're the mineral core. They're heavy.
Yeah, I would. If you have openings that are not fire rated, why did someone spend all of the extra money for fire rated doors?
That's just how this guy, when he does something, he goes over and beyond. He gets tired of people breaking stuff. And like I said, it's a college town, so he said they're not going to break these. Is
this person's conclusion that a mineral core door is heavier duty than a non-mineral core wood door?
I guarantee you, we moved those things about 3 feet. They're 10 times stronger doors are in this place. This place is built like early 1900s. It's just interior. There's interior solid core doors, and the students kick holes in them and punch holes in them, and these doors are yours. You'll break your head open trying to get in the damn thing. They're not gonna destroy them. I mean, they're heavy duty. But,
well, I guess what I'm driving at is the weight doesn't really. The weight is not indicative of it being a heavy duty door. It just happens to be heavy. If you run a screw into that door and you put a plier on it and yank it out, the screw's coming right out. Okay. What ought to have been done is they ought to have ordered structural lumber doors, a continuous sheet of engineered timber strand is what the name on the street is. It's called. Bonded cores, bonded stiles and rails would have been substantially less expensive. Now you're talking about someone cracking their skull open when they try to walk through that door. So that wasn't the right thing to do. I get the logic. I applaud it. I happen to be someone who's manufactured doors for 30 years. Now, in terms of the frames, pound for pound, a 1-inch solid oak, great. I mean, that sounds awesome. It happened, you're going to start with 5/4 for sure, if not thicker, and it's going to be a fortune. What you ought to do is just put in steel frames, which are going to be dirt cheap and super easy to install.
Yeah, I know. I might have to run that by them and see what we might go that route. Okay. Because they go in half the time, They go in a lot quicker and a lot easier.
Absolutely. The only problem that you would have with a hollow metal frame is the rough opening that you'd need for a wood frame is going to be whatever. The rough opening, so for a 3068 door, the rough opening you need for a wood frame is whatever it is. That same rough opening for the same wood door for a hollow metal frame is a different rough opening. So the problem I think you'll bump into is like, oh man, now I got to change the rough opening size. So you might, if you're just going to pull the frame out, if you're going to pull the old frame out, the pine, and put something in, you're going to have to use the same dimensions. Because he's already ordered the doors, you're fixed at that. And with those fire doors, you can't trim them. You can take maybe maybe 16. Something or exactly, and maybe
we
not
looked
even
at the edges of them.
There's and then the reason there's no wood there is because wood's flammable. So there's not too much to burn.
Now, like one question is like where the hinges are, where we route them in. I mean, looking at the top of the door, there's only like maybe, they're beveled, but at the thick end, maybe 5/16, 3/8, and then it tapers down to about 1/4 on the other side of the door. Is there wood down inside or where the hinges are? Because when you look down on the top, there isn't. It's just all that mineral.
It's called Tectonite, and it's made on an Indian reservation in the Pacific Northwest. It's only made in one area of the United States, and that material must be pre-drilled for the screw holes perfectly, otherwise you'll split it. And a lot of factories will pre-drill those holes for the installer because installers don't generally pre-drill. They split the door, and then the door is no good. While that Tectonite has good screw withdrawal strength, it's not like a piece of solid lumber in terms of that.
Yeah. What about like where the knobs, like these aren't drilled for knobs or anything?
Yeah, so that's going to be a major problem. And what I mean by that is...
it's that same stuff in there.
It's not the same. What you're seeing on the edge is Tectonite. The rest of the material we'll just call mineral core. It's more like drywall powder is what it is. There are two types. There is the one that's made by Georgia Pacific and then the one that's made by Weyerhaeuser. The Georgia Pacific is the super killer break your you-know-what heavy. So you obviously have GP core. But if these openings are not fire rated, then you don't have a problem at all. If the openings have to be fire rated, it's a different conversation that we need to have about what can and cannot be done and what you'll need to do. But it's just going to be drill the hole, mortise everything out, and put your locks on. Okay.
Well, I'll see if I can talk them into maybe getting jammed, unless you have another idea, but thank you very much. You answered a lot, so.
Awesome. My name is Richard. Call back if I'd be happy to discuss. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Richard.
Bye-bye.
Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up. Please subscribe and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.